Welcome to the 805 Web Minute, and today we're talking about how to upgrade your Central Coast business website without losing all the hard-earned ranking and customer traffic you've built up.
It's probably the single biggest point of anxiety for local business owners.
Oh, absolutely.
Your site is creaking, it's slow, maybe it looks dated, and it probably doesn't work great on a phone.
Right.
You need that redesign, but the fear of just falling off of Google is terrifying.
And that fear isn't just a rumor, it is based in a pretty tough reality. For this deep dive, we pulled data from a few sources, including Google's own technical guides, and the picture they paint is, well, it's pretty sobering.
It is.
So our mission today is to cut through that anxiety. We want to isolate the few really predictable reasons that website redesigns fail and show you exactly what needs to happen to make sure it's a success.
Let's not sugarcoat it, though. Most businesses, when they launch a new site, they're basically gambling.
Gambling with their revenue.
Exactly. Our sources show that nearly 9 out of 10 website changeovers, what we in the industry call a migration, they fail to improve search rankings.
9 out of 10. Think about that.
Yeah. Most of the time, all that money and all that effort just leaves you right where you started, or worse.
Worse is the key word there. When a redesign is handled poorly, and by that we mean it's rushed or just technically sloppy, it can cause a massive immediate traffic drop.
We're talking huge drops, up to 40% in your search traffic, almost overnight.
Imagine 40% of the phones that are ringing right now just suddenly going silent.
For a business here in SLO County, that kind of drop is catastrophic, and the penalty lasts.
It's not a quick fix.
No. If you have a major failure during the launch, the average time to recover those lost rankings is nearly 18 months.
18 months, a year and a half?
A year and a half of actively bleeding customers because of a technical mistake that honestly takes 10 minutes to fix if you do it right from the start.
That statistic, 18 months, that should scare anyone into preparing properly. But what's fascinating here is that this isn't bad luck, right?
Not at all.
It's not some mysterious Google algorithm change. These are predictable, preventable mistakes that just get repeated over and over again.
Exactly right. The issues we see are almost never about the design or, the color of the buttons. There are 4 specific technical failures.
Okay.
And if you can avoid these 4 pitfalls, you sidestep 90% of the risk.
All right, let's unpack these. If you're a local business owner thinking about a new site, this is the blueprint for what you have to make sure your team prioritizes.
So the first, and I mean by far the most destructive mistake, it has to do with the addresses of your pages, your URLs.
Okay.
When you launch a new site, those old page addresses almost always change. But the problem happens if you don't tell Google where the old page permanently moved to.
So if I had a page that ranked really well for, say, Best Bike Rentals Pismo Beach at some old clunky address, and now my new site just calls that page Pismo Bike Rentals, I need to connect them.
You don't just need to connect them. You need a permanent forwarding address. We call it a 301 redirect.
Like mail forwarding when you move your business.
Exactly like that. If you skip that 301 redirect, Google shows up at the old Pismo bike page, finds nothing, and just marks it as missing. Dead.
And when Google thinks a page is dead, what's the actual consequence there?
The consequence is you lose everything. All that link equity or Google trust, that page had built up for years.
All gone.
Instantly. The 301 is the only way to transfer that ranking credit over to the new page. Without it, your new page starts from 0.
So missing even a few of those could be a big problem.
Devastating. Especially if it's one of your money pages, the ones that actually bring in the leads. A successful migration means a one-to-one map for every important page. Anything less is just negligence.
That sets us up perfectly for the second major failure, the lazy redirect. This one drives me crazy.
Yes, it's the quick and dirty solution that just guarantees your rankings will crash.
So what is it?
Instead of doing the hard work of mapping each old page to its specific new page, some people just send all the old traffic, everything, straight to the new homepage.
Okay, so if a customer was searching for my Arroyo Grande wine tasting schedule, they click the result, and they just land on my generic "Welcome to our winery" page.
Exactly. The visitor gets frustrated immediately, right? They hit the back button. But more importantly, Google sees that. It sees that total disconnect.
What signal does that send to Google?
It signals a failure of relevance. Google tried to answer a very specific question, and you sent them to a generic page. So Google thinks, oh, I guess this business doesn't have that content anymore.
And your ranking for that specific thing just tanks.
It crashes instantly. The lazy redirect just throws away all the specific ranking power you've built up.
That makes the stakes crystal clear. Okay, mistake number 3. This one sounds surprisingly easy to make, and it's completely fatal. Forgetting to flip the switch.
This is a classic developer oversight. When a new site is being built, it's tagged with a setting that basically tells search engines, hey, don't list me in Google yet.
The noindex tag.
That's the one. It's there, so your messy, unfinished site doesn't show up in public searches.
Which makes sense during development, of course.
Right. But if that little noindex tag is forgotten and it's still active when the new site goes live, Google will simply never show the website. Ever. You've launched this beautiful, fast site, but to Google, it's still a private construction zone.
So my site is live, I'm excited, but my search traffic just dropped to 0 because I'm basically telling Google to ignore me.
And it usually takes a few weeks of no leads before the business owner realizes something is horribly wrong. By then, Google has already dropped the site from its index. You're starting from absolute 0.
Pure human error.
Completely. That brings us to the 4th major flaw, losing important signals. This one's a bit more nuanced, but just as important. This is about the details Google uses to actually understand your content. The page titles, the little descriptions under the title and the search results, the text attached to your images.
The things that tell Google what a page is actually about.
Precisely.
Yeah.
In the rush of a rebuild, these crucial ranking-driving details often get ignored or just overwritten with generic stuff.
So a carefully crafted title like Best Handyman Service Orodo Grande might get replaced with just services.
And boom, all your local ranking power for that term just evaporates. It's a huge step backward. It's not usually a sudden crash, but more of a slow, steady erosion of your authority.
So if we look at those 4 missing redirects, lazy redirects, the forgotten noindex tag, and losing all that metadata, it's clear the danger is all technical. It's human error.
That's the core insight. The system isn't punishing you for getting a better-looking website. It's punishing technical failure.
Right.
Now, let's pivot to the good news, because it absolutely does not have to be a disaster.
What's the most reassuring fact for a nervous business owner in, say, San Luis Obispo?
It's this. Google's own documentation says that if those permanent forwarding addresses, the 301s, are set up correctly, you do not lose your ranking power.
You get to keep it.
You get to keep the credit you earned. The trust transfers to the new pages.
So your SEO investment is safe as long as the technical move is, well, flawless.
Flawless is the right word. But Google does say to expect some fluctuation. They need time to recrawl every single page and process the changes.
Well, a temporary dip is not a disaster. It's just Google figuring things out.
Exactly. You might see rankings bounce around for a few weeks. The difference between a normal 10 to 15% temporary dip and a permanent 40% crash is only the quality of the planning.
And when things go right, the upside can be massive. We saw a case study where a proper redesign led to a 402% increase in overall traffic.
A 402% increase, and an even bigger jump, 540%, in traffic from search engines.
That is a life-changing number for a business.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not an accident. It happens when you do the migration perfectly, 1, and 2, you make the new site much, much faster. Speed is a huge ranking factor now.
Google rewards you for giving users a better, faster experience.
Immensely.
Okay, let's give our listeners in the SLO area a clear timeline then. What should they expect when a redesign is managed properly?
When it's done right, here's what you should see. For the first 1 to 2 weeks, expect that small temporary dip, maybe 10, 15%.
Right.
That is normal. Do not panic.
That's just Google processing the changes.
Correct. Then, by weeks 3 through 8, things stabilize, rankings should firm up, and you'll see traffic start a clear upward trend.
And then the payoff?
By months 2 to 3, you should be back to where you were, or more likely, doing significantly better because your new site is faster and works better for customers.
The whole timeline depends on getting those technical details right from the very beginning.
Your rankings aren't fragile, but they do depend entirely on that behind-the-scenes work. The redirects, the tags, the descriptions, get those right, and an upgrade is an upgrade, not a gamble.
Which brings us to how we handle this locally for our Central Coast businesses at ugrow.pro. We treat SEO not as an afterthought, but as step 1.
It has to be step 1. It's like pouring the foundation for a new house. Before any code gets written, we do that crucial redirect mapping. We identify every page that brings you customers and make sure its forwarding address is ready to go.
And we build for speed right from the start. So when Google visits the new site, it's not just a passing grade, it's a positive signal that can actually boost your ranking.
And that final launch process always includes a check to prevent that forgotten switch error. We're focused on results for our neighbors here in Arroyo Grande and AG. We get sites live in days, not months.
No 8-week agency timelines.
Yep. And you get local support. You can call and talk to a person right here in AG, not a ticket system.
A redesign should be an upgrade, not a gamble. It should be a planned investment that secures your ranking while capturing all the upside a fast, well-built site can deliver. That's the quick tip for today. If you want a professional website without the agency price tag or the DIY headache, here is the better way. At ugrow.pro, we build it, we manage it, and we handle every update for Everall for just $79 a month.
There is zero setup fee, no contract lock-in, and it is strictly month-to-month, so there is zero risk. We're local here in AG, and we can have you live in days, not months.
Want to see what your site could look like? Go to ugrow.pro right now, and we'll design 3 custom mockups for your business, completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for listening, and keep growing.